Welcome to a Friday morning edition of Hamza's Corner. We've had a couple no-shows the last couple weeks, so I apologize for a couple weeks of not having anybody on the show. But this week we have a great guest for you guys, Mr. Brian Casson. Enjoy.
Tim's team is just he got lucky. It's a circumstance. I mean, for example, and then Joe got lucky against him last week too. Joe won and made it in, but Tim scored like 70 points on him.
Should be the trend.
Tim put together 6 wins in a row, scoring less than like 95 points at the game, which is
Watch him win. Watch him win. Watch him win this year. That would be abysmal if that happens. Anyway, let's just jump into it. I'll cut this part out. No big deal. So 5, 4, 3,
sure
2. All right, Casson, welcome to Hamza's Corner. How you doing, bud?
I'm doing okay, man. Still a little embarrassed about this year. You know, I was on a nice streak of good seasons, and then this debacle happened. So
the good old Ian Trophy, man. I'll tell you what. It's the equalizer. You and I are on the same foot right now.
That's so depressing to hear.
How does that make you feel?
It makes me sad. Not even angry, just sad.
You went 3-7. You beat myself. You beat Matty Ice, and then you beat Mayton.
Got one playoff team in there.
Yeah. Out of those 3 teams, which one was the most satisfying victory?
Mayton for sure.
Not
really Mayton. It's like, you know, I don't know. I try to keep that, you know, animosity alive, but it's just you know. I've
heard a lot of the, you know, head-to-head with you guys this year.
Maybe I'm just too much because he doesn't respond to anything in the message boards. He doesn't you know, he doesn't really participate until probably like Sunday morning when he sets his lineup, and then that's it. You know,
is this a call out?
No, I don't care, but you know, I'll keep it going if it's fun for everybody else.
Degree.
Yeah, you know, what are you gonna do? I mean, he made it into the playoffs. He had, you know, he put together a nice few weeks to push himself in, and good for him.
Good for Mayton. Made it to the playoffs.
Yeah, I know. He's had a real rough run of it lately. So, you know, I mean, yeah, he made it in at 4-6, and you know,
he's had a couple seasons. He's had a couple embarrassments seasons.
Yeah, but you know, maybe he'll turn it.
I need a new team, man. You gotta let me off of this hook. You gotta let me off the hook here with my team name. Maybe after I beat you for the Ian.
If we play each other in the Ian and you beat me, then you're off the hook. I've not been imposing that on you, though. By the way, you've been doing it to yourself.
Okay. I'm a man of my word. I'm a man of my word.
Yeah. So you're gonna keep it until you win a championship, or you're gonna keep it until you're not Ian? But you didn't finish you.
I just want to beat you so I could change that name.
Oh, so you have to beat me first. Okay.
Yeah.
Good luck. I don't think it's
fun. Oh man. All right. Biggest losses.
They're all injured right now, but the team's good. It's just they can't play together. So I mean, watch me run like all the way through these playoff weeks and score like second most points. We'll see what happens.
We'll see. Except last night you didn't really have a good showing.
No.
Juju Smith didn't really do anything. That dude has been nothing but bad juju on my team.
Yeah, and he got hurt. So
yeah, motherfucker. All right, let's stick to the topics here. Otherwise, this is going to be a lot longer than we expected. But big losses, a lot of big losses this year. You only had 2 close matchups, Steve and Tim, and those 2 guys are right now first and third.
Yeah, I mean, those weeks, you know, you look at those weeks, if I win, I make the playoffs.
5-5.
I mean, Newman just absolutely shit on me twice this year. Like, it was bad. 127-82 in week 1, and that's when I knew I was in trouble. And then last week he beat me 132.5-77. That was bad.
Somebody went off on you this year. I don't remember who it was. Was it Joe, I think, put up 160 some points?
Let me check.
Yeah, somebody went. I should have wrote it down, but
Joe put up 133 on me. It was Scott. I scored 100 That was the most points I scored all year. No, second most points I scored all year at 124.3, which is fucking terrible. That's my second highest. But
Scott you down, huh?
166.6. That was bad.
Coming from a person who consistently gets doubled when it comes to points, that sucks. I know how it feels.
Yeah,
that's different when you get doubled from that perspective versus I get doubled because I only put up like 60 points.
That started a real bad run for me because, I mean, at that point I was 2-2, and then he smashed me in week 5, and then I lost by 4.5 points to Steve. And then I had the week where within a span of about 4 minutes on Sunday, I lost 4 players to injury or ejection. And I finished that week with like 70 points. So I was on Tim level there. But that was yeah.
But Tim ends up winning. He puts up 70 points, but his opponents put up 60 somehow. And then he gets the double.
People came in and they feared Tim's roster and they just decided not to show up. So, it's definitely it.
Matt's your current matchup. You're going into the Ian. Is it the championships? Do you get to call it a championship if you don't want it?
I've just been calling it the Ian Memorial Trophy Tournament.
Ian Memorial Trophy Tournament. How do you feel? Do you feel like you have a good chance of beating Matt and getting out of it, or you beat him once before?
Yeah, I mean, when I played him in week 2, I won 125-69. But that was 9 weeks ago. But I don't know, man. I don't think I've got a really good shot. I wouldn't be surprised if I walked away with Ian this year just because the way things have been going. Right now, like if you look at my team, everybody's hurt. What are you pointing at yourself for?
I'm the fucking person that's going to get the Ian. I'm 1-0. My team hasn't put up over 100 points all season.
It's just like right now I have like one running back who's healthy on my team. Devonta Freeman is hurt. He's doubtful this week. Matt Breida is hurt. He's probably not going to play.
You're complaining about running backs? You have running backs. I don't have anybody on running backs.
David Johnson, like, did you see him run last week? He looked like fucking fatter Jerome Bettis. It was insane. He couldn't even move. He was like strutting down the line. Destroyed. I'm like, okay, he shouldn't be out there. Jalen Samuels, I had, James Conner came back. He's hurt again, so maybe if he stays out for a while, I might get a little bit of a boost there. But other than that, I don't even have another running back. And then, ESPN takes forever to designate people as out, so I can't pick out.
It's killing me, man. Thielen doesn't go out until Sunday, and then I have one day to move his ass into IR and to try to pick somebody up to put in that spot. And by then, somebody goes and bids $30 on a running back that they're going to put on their bench when I need them to be on my starting lineup.
Just got to get better at waivers, man.
I can't do it when I have everybody injured. Between Deshaun Jackson, between Michael Thielen, between just all the injuries that I've had this year, I don't want to hear it from anybody else. Between the injuries and the lack of people doing anything. But anyway,
yeah.
So what can we expect from rebuilding year going into the end of the year?
Well, I'm expecting for myself, just because I don't want to disappoint myself, I'm just assuming I'm going to get the Ian. And I'm going to start to clear off some space on the shelf for it and just take my licks and, come back next year. Probably going to have to clean house. I mean, there's no way I can keep anybody on my team. My best player this year has been like Dak Prescott. So that sucks. And then, Godwin was amazing to start, but then, it's like a flip of a coin between him and Evans, who does well. Can't keep OBJ unless he does turn on the fire at the end of the year. And David Johnson, who the fuck knows what's going on with him?
You know what's funny is I say this about OBJ every year. He turns it up in week 10 to week 16, or I should say week 11 to week 17, which are the weeks that if you're not in the playoffs for us, makes him non-existent, makes him a non-essential player.
The last few years that's accurate. He's been slow to start, and then he does turn it on later in the year. I'm not going to pull all the numbers for him, but definitely. It's frustrating because, man, I dished Hopkins, and he hasn't had that great of a year either. But not like he's still done well, but not as great as as Matt or I expected him to do.
Of course not. Of course not. Going into the off season, should we expect anything from Mr. Brian Casson?
Having a baby in March.
Congratulations. Yes. Yes.
I'll probably talk a lot about DraftKings because I'm not, too engaged with this one right now, not being in the real playoffs.
Playoffs?
Yeah. God, it's embarrassing.
Oh, man.
And
embarrassing. The Bears doing an embarrassing effort of quarterback. How do you feel about that?
Did you see in the graphic on the game on Sunday where they said that they were in the hunt at 4-5? So I started laughing. It's like, there's no fucking way that the Bears are going to make the playoffs. No way. I don't know. I hope they sign Cam Newton. I know
the Bears are going to go in Bear-esque fashion and go 9-7 or 8-8 and not make the playoffs. And on top of that, we're going to have a shitty draft pick. That's just, it always happens like that.
Draft picks. So, I mean, if we don't sign someone like Cam Newton or Teddy Bridgewater, then we're going to suck again next year. I see you're wearing a Bears jersey there.
Yeah, but it's Mr. Sweetness.
Yeah, but the last time they were really good.
85 Bears. No, they were good back in 2005. Sexy Rexy, baby. That's who we need.
And they got waxed in the Super Bowl, and nobody remembers that year. So
I remember it.
I don't even remember the Super Bowl. Joe B and I got absolutely shit-faced.
I remember the opening of the Super Bowl.
I remember that, and then not much else after that.
I remember just being disappointed the rest of the time.
30 Miller Lights that day.
Oh God. Well,
high school.
Any closing statements you want to leave for our fans here? I know the guys are everyone's really been anticipating the Brian Casson interview.
Oh, really? I don't know, man.
No, I just said that. I don't think anyone's anticipating this.
I think I think Steve's going to run away with it. I really don't. I don't see anybody beating him. When you have the 1 and 2 running back and they've been in that position from start to this point, it's tough to beat him. As long as he doesn't completely whiff on any replacement players or waiver picks or if Lamar Jackson doesn't get hurt, or any of his big guys don't get hurt, there's nobody's going to beat him. He lost one game this year. And every other week, he's absolutely crushed everyone else, except for the week against me, and they beat him by like 4. But I don't know. Looking at Newman's team, I have given him some shit throughout the year, but he's still put it together. DJ Moore's been a nice, quiet surprise for him. And then the Patriots actually are the ones who carried him to probably 5 of his victories.
Yeah, so 30 points team, 30 points for defense.
Yeah, it's absurd. If they keep doing that, then I guess he'll have a shot. But I mean, they don't have any cupcakes coming up until week 15. So I mean, Newman could be in trouble in the second round. They play Houston and Kansas City, probably going to be shootouts. And then I like Calvin Ridley. Who knows what's going on with that guy?
Right, we're gonna stop breaking down his team here for fantasy, but
I don't really know. You're not really giving me too much direction here to what to talk about. But
you're just breaking down everyone's team. I'm just asking you for your closing statements.
My closing statements. Well, I don't have one. I wasn't prepared. No, I think next year we should move to 12 weeks for team makes the playoff, and
there you go.
And get rid of kickers finally. Because look, the kickers have scored 2, 3, 4 points every week.
I think that was the worst move we've ever done is lowering the kickers' points. Because I like the kicker coming in and putting up potentially 10 points. Now your kicker puts up 2 to 3 points. They're nothing. There's no point in having
Eddie if 2 3 points is nothing.
Ask Eddie if 2 to 3 points is nothing.
Yeah, he missed the playoffs by 1.7 points this year.
Oh, I bet you he wouldn't have if our kickers. Nah, I don't really want to get into it.
No, he would have.
That's a Matty Ice interview.
Joe pointed it out in the bold strategy. If he started a defense that 1 week instead of keeping the Bears on a bye and he got 2 points, he would have made the playoffs. Fucking taco.
There you have it. Be smart. Always start a defense.
I mean, you have to. I mean, especially in this league. There's, I don't think we've had any defenses go negative.
No,
We
because
changed the rules.
we changed the scoring. Yeah.
Scoring for the defense. We lowered their floors so that they can't cost you the game because, people are winning games or the teams on
losing games because the defense is putting up -6 or -8.
Yeah, and then you lose, and it's only because of yardage, right? Like you give up 500 yards, but you only give up 21 points or something. Who gives a shit? So we got rid of that.
Or you happen to be playing the Detroit Lions and they put up 600 yards passing against you and 1 touchdown, and you still lose.
Yeah, because they can't score. Matt Stat Builder Stafford.
Oh, man. All right, dude. Well, hey, have a good one. Thanks for joining us, and hopefully I'll put this up within the next couple hours.